Hello people! Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I will be sharing with you my journey towards American citizenship. Yay! Please refer to the USCIS website for further details and information about the processing of the case, because this all depends on which visa you applied for, and the process that you need to take is different. I came here as spouse, so I have to go through the spousal visa, the green card, and then now for the US citizenship. Please, I highly encourage you to do your own research. Explore the website. This video is just a guide for you to have an idea what I went through. Okay? Enjoy! Yes, first step was getting my spousal visa. So the getting of spousal visa happened in the Philippines around 2018 to 2019. And when I came here around June 2019, I received my green card around June 30th, 2019. So that was it. So the green card is my first ID here in America. Then I got my social security number around August 2019. Those two IDs I use so that I can start doing my driving lesson. Fast forward to year 2022, which is this year, I got my permanent resident card, the green card, which is valid for 10 years. And I was given the options if I want to apply right away for citizenship, or I can wait for a few more years to apply. It's up to me. But the cost will vary as well. So if I didn't choose to apply for a US citizenship right away, then after 10 years, I can renew my permanent resident card. Then I will have to pay like $1,000 to renew it, something like that. Okay, so those are the online information that I got in my processing for naturalization or citizenship. And I also have here some documents that I can show you. This is the interview notice that I got from USCIS, and this is Form I-797C. You will have information about this in your online account as well, even before you receive this by mail. Also, make sure you have this kind of envelope, like this. You can arrange this and you can tag your paper or your documents like this. So, see that? It will be easier for you to bring this to the interviewer or the officer, show this to the officer during your interview as well. Now I will show you the form N400. This is the form that I filled out online to start my application for naturalization. So the questions here are basically like demographic questions. They're gonna ask you your A number. A number is the 9-digit number that is found in your visa or green card, and is also found in your passport when you arrive here in America. First is you're gonna know your information about your eligibility. So I tick the letter B box in that form. And it says there, have you been a lawful permanent resident of the United States for at least 3 years? In addition, you have been married to and living with the same U.S. citizen spouse for the last 3 years, and your spouse has been a U.S. citizen for the last 3 years at the time of this, filing for this form. And yeah, so that's why I'm eligible to apply as early as 3 years. And have to put my legal name, information about me, and information about my social security, my spouse, because I came here as spousal visa, and information about my residence. So for the last 5 years. So the last 5 years includes where I live in the Philippines, because I've only been here for 3 years and few months. So it's it includes my Philippine address, and information about my father or my mother if they are U.S. citizen, but they're not U.S. citizen, so I don't have to put it. So you just have to leave those space that you don't necessarily need to fill out because it doesn't apply to you. Just leave it blank, or you can put not applicable if fill this out by ink. But since I fill it out online, so there's no choice of not applicable. So because it automatically auto-populates. And information about your employment, schools you attended. So remember where you worked for the last 5 years. So they are very specific. So you have to include the date, okay? From and to. So let's say I live here in America starting June 11, 2019 until present, or whatever the date you applied, whatever the date you put in here as your current date in your application. And yeah, they're very specific. Even your marital history if you've been married previously, and the name of your school, the name of your employer, and the address, date from, date to, your occupation. If you were not employed in certain months or years, then you have to put unemployed. You cannot leave it blank. And during your time as a permanent resident here in America, if you happen to travel outside the country, you also have to write it down. Okay? You have to put date you left the country and date you came back. Yep. What else? Other stuff doesn't really apply to me. Yeah, I don't have children, so you don't need to put in child number 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. and there's also additional information about you or about me applying for naturalization. So basically, these are questions answerable by yes or no, and they will ask you during interview about this form that you filled out. So make sure you know the form very well, because they're gonna question you. Oh, so you used to live in the Philippines for this year. How long did you stay in Manila? How long did you stay in this place? So they're gonna ask you. They're gonna have to verify everything that you wrote here. Okay? Okay, let's start studying for our naturalization interview. I have a guide, American government. I downloaded it from the website, and this is what I do during break time. The government. I have 128 questions. This is an updated one. What is a supreme law to me? The Constitution. Why do we celebrate Veterans Day? We celebrate Veterans Day to honor those who serve in the military. How about Memorial Day? To honor those soldiers who died in military service. Name 3 national holidays. Of course, Christmas Day, my favorite. Thanksgiving Day. Huwag mag-cheat. Dapat memorize na. Malapit na yung interview. Oh. Oh. Yes, those were the 128 questions that I reviewed, and sorry, but it's really not my forte. I'm not a fan of history. It makes me sleepy and makes me bored. But it's a matter of discipline, just as I said many times, discipline and effort. So it took me 6 months to wait for my interview. I submitted my N400 application around July, and I got a biometrics appointment around August. Biometrics is when you go to one of their branches and do this fingerprints and picture, just very quick, like 5 minutes. There's a certain time that you have to go, certain time and day. That was around August. So around August until November, I just keep on looking at the online and looking and checking if there's any updates. Yes, so I think around October I get a notification that I have an interview schedule. So that was interview schedule for December 6th. That's already the interview, and then writing, reading, civics test. The writing part, they're gonna ask you to write what they said. So if the officer said George Washington is the first president of America, so you're gonna have to write it down in the tablet. There's a tablet that they're gonna lend you, and you have to write whatever the officer says. For the reading part, in the tablet you have to read whatever is in the sentence. So if the sentence says the first president of America is George Washington, you have to say that in front of the officer. And yeah, that's easy. The civics test, they will ask you only few questions out of the 128 that you reviewed, and after that they will go through the N400, and they will ask you whatever you wrote in the N400. Say for example, they're gonna say, oh, you live in the Philippines around this time. They're gonna confirm, or they're going to ask those yes or no questions. They're going to ask, what is your social security number? When is the birthday of your husband? Do you have children? So everything, they're going to confirm that to make sure that you are the one who filled out the N400. Okay, woo, it's my interview day today, December 6th. We will be traveling to Hartford, which is around 45 minutes to an hour drive. My husband will drive me there, and yep, it's a nervous day for me, but may the Lord's will be done. We're done! Touring Hartford. That's the Yukon University. Yummy, yummy! Okay, I'm done and I'm very hungry. I was very anxious a while ago and finally I got it! Baby back ribs. I'm eating because I'm celebrating and thankful. At least I don't have to go through it again. Okay, that was it. I actually cried before the interview. I was so nervous. I feel like I went I feel like I had a board exam, nursing board exam. So yeah, when I entered, I had to go through security check. I don't have any video for that. And my interview time is 10:15. So around 10 o'clock, I checked in. I showed my green card and my passport and my interview notice. I showed it to the receptionist after the security check. And I told them that I'm here for my interview, U.S. citizenship interview, something like that. And then they have me waited in the waiting area, and I just sat there. And after 15 minutes, around 10:15, the officer called my name. So the officer interviewed me. First, she went through the civics question. She told me that I have to have 6 correct answers for the civic question. It was so easy for me. I don't know with others. They asked me about the Constitution. They asked me about who signs bills, who vetoes bills, who becomes the president if the president is no longer available or no longer perform their duties and something like that. And after that, she went through my N400 application, and she asked me what my husband is doing, what I'm doing. I don't know. There's a lot. There was a lot of questions in the N400 form, but it was easy. And yeah. And after that, she gave me this oath-taking schedule. The oath-taking schedule was just 11 o'clock, just after my interview. And I waited for an hour there because I think they're trying to gather all of those who had their interview this morning. They had to gather together. And then we had our oath-taking around 12 noon. And yeah, we just have to, stand up and raise your right hand and just repeat after the officer. And they were congratulating us. They gave us a certificate. And yes, and finally I'm a U.S. citizen, a naturalized U.S. citizen.